Hello everybody, Mr.Google here. Welcome to the next episode. Today I'm going to show you guys how I like to use my overpowered EM1 laser weapon. After the class guide I will show you guys how I managed to get a pretty good gameplay. I get 2 Paladins, 2 Warbirds, system hacks and multiple UAVs. While dying only 6 times and my kills are over 30 or something like that. So stay tuned for that. But let's jump straight to the class guide. In my case I call it overpowered laser, which suits the name perfectly fine. In my case I'm using the EM1 dimension, which has extra mobility. It overheats a little bit faster, I guess, but that never happens for me. So I have other variants. There is also a variant with 1 extra fire rate and nothing to accuracy or damage, I guess. So if you got that one, use it. For the attachments, I like to use it with foregrip. The vertical recoil is pretty high, so I like to use foregrip to compensate for that just a little bit. I think that's useful for you as well, but even without the foregrip I have no problems aiming at someone and adjusting my aim to account for the recoil. So for perk 1 I like to use flak jacket. I'm playing objective modes with this gun, which is where I like to use this gun for, so I suggest using flak jacket. A good second one or a second option would be to take lightweight instead. Perk 2, which is mandatory for this gun because the hip fire spread is very narrow and very good. So gung-ho, perk 2, you will have to take it for this gun. It's basically mandatory. Perk 3, because we cannot run out of ammo because this is a laser gun, we do not have to use scavenger, which is great in my opinion, because I like scavenger, but this class doesn't need it. So toughness, very nice to have. Less flinch when shot, so if someone is shooting at you while you are just about to fire on your opponent, you will not flinch that much and probably, or at least you have a higher chance of killing him instead. Perk 3, which is my favorite one, is hardline. As you guys noticed in my previous gameplays, since I started using hardline I managed to get all of the high score streaks. While I consider myself to be an average player, at least that's what I like to think I am. The EXO ability, I like to use it with overclock because it's instant and you move very slow if you have to get out somewhere very fast, because for example you see 3 opponents and there's no chance of you killing them. You activate EXO overclock, quickly run away and regroup and retry again. So EXO overclock, very good. Perk 1, UAV. In my case, my favorite 2 extra additions are extra assist points and extra time. Perk 2, system hack, also with extra assist points, because all of the extra assist points and extra time on these 2 make it very easy to get your Warbird. Especially if you are on console, they buff the assist points you get and general points when you're playing objective game modes. So it should even be easier if you're playing on console, because the PC hasn't been patched for the last 2 patches. So Warbirds, I like to use this with Aggressor. Basically it makes it an automatic score streak. Always good to have, especially if you consider I like to use the Paladin class in my 4th score streak. This Paladin is basically stock, just to make it easier to get it. If you're feeling lucky, I would suggest adding on the 105mm cannon. It's a pretty nice additioning for with use of the rockets. So I hope this was useful for you guys. So let's jump straight to the gameplay and I hope you guys will enjoy that, and I will show you why it's so powerful. So starting off with the gameplay, you will probably notice I get a little bit of a rough start, but I managed to die only 6 times in this game and I play the objective pretty good, so that's kind of nice. What I like the most about this gun is obviously the fact you do not ever have to reload, so just releasing your finger from the trigger is enough for this gun. I like to really play with some of my friends. In this case I was playing with one of my friends. You might see him in this game as well, no doubt. Currently I am playing with up to 5 people I know in real life, so the PC community is a little bit on the small side. I believe the maximum of players online was just above 30k, but the average daily online player base is about 10 to 15k, I guess. It might even be lower. So yeah, that's kind of, yeah, lackluster, but I do manage to find almost every game mode I play, so it is enough. I haven't seen that many hackers. I've only seen 2 in all of my prestiges, and according to at least some videos I have seen on the internet, on YouTube, there were some hack lobbies on console as well. I'm not totally sure, so correct me if I'm wrong, but please let me know in the comments down below as well if you like to use this gun as well, because in my case it's pretty much the best gun to play most objective modes. In my case, I like to play at least domination with this match, and sometimes hardpoint. Hardpoint's a little bit different. Yeah, this is a little bit about how I like to see the gun changed for the PC. I think they should keep the hipfire the same. In my case, that would be fine, but they should probably not increase the damage on the next patch. I think if all of the guns are going to be patched just as on the console, like the Bell 27, the other guns like the submachine guns getting a buff, then this gun would probably be balanced as is. If they are going to buff it on the PC, I'm not really fond of them doing that, but we'll have to see if they actually make changes according to platform differences. But as you guys can see, I already managed to get my first Paladin. For this map, I don't know if you guys can see it, but because of all of the towers and all of the buildings are pretty high, it's very hard to get a lot of kills with it. Some people were saying that the score streaks were very hard to get in comparison of how many kills you can get with it, but I am pretty much fine with it. If you jump into a game and the opponent has a kill streak like this, and it would last too long, or it would be too easy to get a lot of kills, a lot of people would rage quit and you end up with an empty game. What's the fun of that? So it's still rewarding enough to go and try to get these kill streaks. I didn't play all that great up until now, and I do manage to get a Paladin, so my idea is that they fixed it just in a way that it would be enough that average players can get the high score streaks as well, because in Black Ops 2, at least for myself, I was not able to get them as much as I am getting them in this game, so props to Advanced Warfare for that. If you haven't seen my previous videos, by the way, that's something I want to let you guys know. I have other class guides as well, and if you are enjoying and watching this episode and you are even a subscriber, thank you very much. For those who are just tuning in, please subscribe to my channel or just leave a like down below. It really helps. I wouldn't ask if it didn't help. And for other players that shared my videos, I'd like to thank you personally. It really helps. I have managed to get above 600 subscribers. I have seen a pretty decent amount of growth the last few days, and I'd like to thank you personally for that. There's a special thank you video coming later on as well, where I talk about YouTube in general, and I've started a year ago, so I'd like to make a video about that as well. It's called about a little over a year on YouTube, so stay tuned for that. I'm still writing some sort of keywords and scripts and ideas what I'd like to do with that. Once I am in the position to do a giveaway, for example for games, I will certainly do that as well. I've promised that earlier, but I will do that as soon as I can. So stay subscribed for more about that. As you guys can see, we barely managed to lose this round, unfortunately. I will make up for that in the next round. But are you guys getting the high score streaks? I'm curious, because some of my friends are not, at least not as much as I am currently, but they're doing pretty okay. They're just off by a little bit most of the time, so they're getting there. Some of my friends have some issues. One of them is calling it lag composition. I know other people have that as well. In my case, I do not have these issues. At least it's not noticeable for me. I have no problems with it. I do not know what the difference is. Is it happening for you guys? Because There is also something called skill-based matchmaking. It is not officially confirmed, but people who just buy their console or their game and they start a game and a match, they get matched with other players who also started the game, which is in theory a very good thing. But once you play this game for a little over a month or longer, or days, weeks, months, that kind of is meh. Well, why is that? Well, it is probably because you want to get decent gameplays some of the times, and some people have issues with that. If you get matched with people all the time with the same skill, then it's less likely to get better gameplays. So in that case, more fun in game, I guess. So yeah, it isn't always the case, I think, on the PC, but that might have to do something with the smaller gaming community, because on console it's easily above 100k, possibly 200k players online at the same time playing the game, I guess. If you know the answer to that question, leave the comments down below. But yeah, that's kind of lackluster. For those who didn't quite know it yet, Call of Duty Ghost on the PC, it was terrible. The performance was so bad that even if you had the most expensive or great awesome PC, the game was barely playable. This game is pretty much very well playable, but some people have issues, and if I watch the view count on my previous video about how to fix the game on PC, in this case Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, it has over 15k views already. And I said that the player base for average players online is about 10k. So a lot of people are having issues. I had some issues, but I managed to fix them by tuning settings. So I guess I am okay with that. But people who are not playing a lot on the PC, or just simply want the game to play immediately as it should be, yeah, that is kind of a bad thing in my opinion. It is obviously ported from console, so they could optimize it a little bit better, I guess. And a lot of players would also buy the game because it's optimized better. And now this is kind of a bad thing. But as you guys can see, back to the gameplay, I managed to get my second system hack again, and my Warbird again, which is probably even more favorable over the Paladin. So getting a nice sneaky spot over there, just to be a little bit safe. At least I'm trying to. But again, as you can see in the map, I managed to get a few kills over there. You only get 25 points for kills. I guess they did that because it wouldn't be too easy to chain your score streaks, I guess. If you would get 100 points for a kill with your Paladin, that would mean if you get 5 kills you are back to your UAV again. So that's probably why they did that. So it's nice to support, but it's not overpowered. If you count the average kills with a Paladin, I would say it's about 3, maybe 4 kills, I guess. There obviously, if you're playing other game modes with more open maps, you will get more kills, but on average it's just 4, so that's fine by me. But as you guys can see, this laser, you can, how long can you spray it? I think it takes about 5 seconds or 4 seconds before it overheats, so it's easy to pre-fire. You go around the corner, you see a dot on your UAV or your radar, you pre-fire and you just shoot. So in my case, it's the ideal weapon. I don't know how you guys think about that, but yeah. But as you guys can see, I have no issues in moving around, even though it's a 20% decrease in movement speed. Yeah, the gun is pretty okay-ish. The movement speed, it is very noticeable. It's the thing you have to get used to the most about this gun, but I really suggest you try it again, or you try it for the first time if you haven't tried it before. Especially if you're playing on console, because the gun got patched. That should make a big difference, I guess. Leave in your comments down below how was your experience with this gun on the console. And to finish it off, a very nice epic kill cam soon to come over here. And I would like to ask to subscribe to my channel, watch my previous videos. You can click the annotations which are coming on screen right over here. And as always guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing my videos and subscribing. I really love it, and goodbye.